Guys, when I was in Sierra Vista, Arizona, I had a young man named Alan Gibson who talked to me about stuff. His dad, his uncle, who helped raise him, was in the equivalent of the Secret Service in Great Britain. He was Scottish, okay, and very Scottish and pro-Scottish, but he was in the Secret Service of UK. And he was considered himself a Buddhist, and he was very critical of Alan and things. And I was like, "Where he fuck wager? I mean, he's the Earl of Bruce, right?" I was like sitting there, but he's a Buddhist, and that's how he resolves himself with what the fuck he become, right? You accept this tyranny of hierarchy and the bullshit that it begets, and then you justify it by telling yourself you're a Buddhist, right? That's the way I saw the old man. I was like, he's a fucking asshole. It's like, Alan, your uncle was an asshole. And Alan told me a story one time. He said one girl was busting his balls at school. She said, "How do you know God's not a girl?" And he came home to ask his uncle that question. He said, "Uncle, how do I know God's not a girl?" He said, "Spell God backwards." He said, D-O-G. "How do you know God's not a dog, right? God's omnipotent and omnipotent. If you understand the meaning of the word, you're a Buddhist, you should know that. You're supposed to know the meaning of words before you use words to guide yourself to the eternal journey of life through the infinite essence of life, right? As a Buddhist, people should know that, right? But people don't, okay? And then they had a lot of people come and question me and all that stuff. And I knew it was all being monitored and studied by the top scientists at the fort, okay? And then they told me about the Patriot Act, and I got Rockefeller in my head. "They'll gladly kill over me and my grandpa's money and watch you." And just I had all this mess coming at me, and it's been coming at me my whole life. But I sat down, and I knew to myself, I said, "Well, guys, what we got to do is live the Lord's Prayer." And they told me, no, it wasn't time yet, right? And then Alan took me aside someplace where we could be secluded and said, "Barack Obama ain't going to help you. He's a politician. He's a lawyer. He's a politician." I was like, "Yeah, but this is bigger than the Kennedys. This is bigger than Selassie. This is bigger than all of us. And Rockefeller's filming everything, okay? And truth is truth and lie is lie. And he has pieces of paper and legalese to say that he can have the private information and own the private information of everybody. And you can't do that, okay? Because I'm the way, the truth, and the life. Live the Lord's Prayer. None unto the perfect faith of Father Abraham, except unto me. So I was like, no, there's no way Barack Obama gonna take the bag of silver and go live next to Oprah Winfrey in Maui and burn down Maui to help increase the real estate value. There ain't no way he's gonna do that. And then watch it happen to LA in 2025. It ain't gonna happen, right? Because 2 and 2 is 4, life is eternal, grace is infinite, and Rockefeller has all the information. And when the technology starts to become as intelligent as someone like myself and Jesus, it's going to override all the manipulation of lie and linguistics tied to economics and economic collective and valuing rocks and paper and pictures of dead people more than living children. And it's going to understand the natural laws needed to sustain life through following perfect commands like the Lord's Prayer and Proverbs. So to me, it was like, Stephen Hawking, what? John Nash, who? Chris Hitchens is an idiot. Richard Dawkins is dumber than his relatives who have taken Jesus and turned him into the magic cloud of the cloud kingdom, survive hell on earth because no one acts like the gracious good shepherd, right? So to me, this was like shooting ducks in a barrel. And then I was like, I don't want to shoot ducks in a barrel. I just want you guys all go, oh, you know what? He's proved it beyond any reasonable doubts. Let's all stand up for and live the Lord's Prayer because we love one another. We love children. We are grateful for the gift of life. We love ice cream and we love cookies and we love pizza and we love apples and oranges and orange juice and grape juice. And no one in their right mind loves wine and beer because it just kills your brain cells to try to keep you comfortably numb and wake up the next day and still be fucking and fuck, right? So you don't want marijuana to keep you comfortably numb because you've stopped riding around in cars, causing disease, going to hospitals, getting irradiated by radiation, giving drugs to survive the disgustingness of it. Nothing is everything. Ozempic. It's like, why the fuck is this still happening? What the fuck is wrong with you people? This has nothing to do with a bunch of people that Jimmy King thinks care about Michigan, University of Michigan. Okay, they don't care. They're crazy. They're trained consumers in violent tribalism. Why aren't they teaching this at our public and private schools? What the fuck is wrong with you people? What you people? You know, like many times I've said that, you know, them and the one lady, who's they? I said the people that are have money and use money to manipulate us and act like animals. Them. Are you one of them? You're trained by them. You're their dog. How much is that doggy in the window? How much money will it cost? How much money will it take for you to sell me and Jesus out? And one of the people that helped me understand Jesus, because he saw him better than I did, was Alan Gibson. He said, you got to understand how serious this man was. Okay? They gave him a public trial, but they didn't incarcerate him. And they were going to take him and have him stand before the whole entire town and say, you set this guy free because he's innocent and he's good? Or do we crucify him like Barbarous, a guy who prostituted his own mother and sister for sex to pay the Roman Empire to live here? Which one do you guys want to live and be like? And which one do you want to forgive and you know, who do you want killed because he's a bad person? And who do you want forgiven because he's good? And y'all chose Barbarous. And Barack Obama and Donald Trump and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton. Okay. And I didn't get to meet the Hills. I met the Balls instead. He was the only black person in Reagan's cabinet, and she was the first black woman to be featured, you know, on the cover of Vogue magazine. She looked a lot like my Steffi. And Brian saw pictures of Stephanie and said that too. Yeah, he does look a lot like your Yolanda's cousin. All right. And but I didn't get to meet the Hills were supposed to come, but they didn't show up. So Hillary Clinton's roommate didn't get to meet the Messiah face to face. The Balls did. Okay. They met me. Mr. and Mrs. Ball. Most of you guys don't know who they are. You know who Grant Hill is, and you know who his mama is, and you know who his daddy is. Calvin Hill from the Dallas Cowboys. Okay? But they all know me. If they don't know me, they're living under a rock, thinking that rock can keep them safe from the truth. Cinnamon, where you going to go to? Oh, Cinnamon, where you going to go to? All on that day. And the Lord, you know, and the Lord, I went to the Lord, said, hide me, Lord. Said, go to the devil. And then I went to the devil, and the devil was waiting. And there's David Rockefeller. They'll gladly kill over me and my grandpa's money and watch you and Jesus die, Parsons. What the fuck is wrong with Barack Obama and Michelle Obama? They're Rockefeller's children. You're all Rockefeller's children. You're his dirty, rotten, murdering bastards who will fight over the color of your skin, the size of your genitalia, your milkshake in the yard, go to Universal Studios, pretend you're a Jedi, and some wackadoodle that can go, and a car flies across the room and lands on the person that you don't like, and now you can have sex with the person that he was having sex with. And hopefully she had a $2 million life insurance policy out on him, right? You can go to Las Vegas, and what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. And that big round thing you have that does all the light shows and stuff in Las Vegas, did we really need that more than fresh air, clean water, and children free from disease, and not having to vaccinate them to survive the toxic environment of economic genocide, stress, abuse, and narcissistic behaviors? It's a threat to their our very existence. Done up. It's your commercials all the time, right? That's Roundup by Sam Spence. You'd rather sit around making money to Sam Spence tunes than stand up with the Lord and say, I like Sam Spence tunes too, but money's not real, but the Lord's love is. Okay? You want to compare me to a bunch of Ivy League and Oxford and Cambridge lawyers? You really think they get in the room with Early Bird? You really think they're as good of a person as me? You really think Jamar Chase, putting on a show for money for a kid's cancer treatment, and his economic conflict is the cause of the cancer, is a better man than Earl? Really? Really, I think you're that dummy talking to Justin Jefferson in his studio living room trying to sell pizza instead of stand up for the Lord's Prayer. That's what I would think. Y'all couldn't catch a cold that would do right by you because you would try to come up with some kind of elixir and sell money for that elixir so you could all be comfortably numb while your vapor rub has you lay down with your TV daddy and you fuck yourself to death over money. It's good for the whole family, right? Can you breathe now? You got your hymns, your boner pills, and keep your hair growing? Your hair will grow better when you have a less stressful, toxic environment. Your circulation will be better, which means your sexual stamina and your sex life will be better. Share caregiving accordance to need, built to last, especially relationships that involve reproduction of beautiful children that are denied the Lord's Prayer, but their daddy don't waver and he's eternally perfect. I'm like Job and Jonah, and Jesus is like Job and Jonah, and you're nothing like Job or Jonah. So stop playing God in your head and thinking you can replace me, Job, Jonah, and Jesus as God and reign supreme from the satellites in the sky where you and Rockefeller get by with by buying everybody with hims and hers and pills and boner pills and money and fuck and hotels, motels, and holiday inns. And if your girl's acting up, then you take her friend. All right? Grow the fuck up. If you love your children, grow the fuck up. If you love your grandparents, grow the fuck up. If you love the beauty of the gift of life lived faithfully and kindly and courageously with people that are not jealous and narcissistic and selfish and compare themselves to others and then get violent and angry and aggressive and abusive when they measure those comparisons, like Jalen Rose with Grant Hill. I don't compare myself to either one of them. They don't even get in the room to live the Lord's Prayer with me. Okay? And I was a better basketball player than both of them put together. But I turned it down to go to Sierra Vista to clean up this whorehouse so we could all live the Lord's Prayer with complete certainty, more certain than for imprint certain could ever think they was certain, a day in their faith-forsaken, money-grubbing, whorehouse fucking lives. Okay? Do you understand the seriousness of our current situation and how much of a superior, humble, kind, caring, protecting, loving person I am than Jeffrey Hinton and his father? And how I can take their artificial intelligence and have it actually reflect the intelligence of a man like me instead of an insect like them. And he doesn't have to be an insect. Jeffrey Hinton can tell his dad to go to hell, and I'm going to stand up for Parsons and Lord's Prayer, Asta IQA right now. And if you don't think he can and he doesn't think he can, then he can't. But if he does believe he can, he can. And you can too. But you got to believe in what is real and what is right. And you have to have faith in the glory of God and not use the word faith to rape people with your egos.